And thank you everyone for showing up. This is Business Math, which is Business 1353. If you see me look to my left, I'm looking at my other screen. I have my laptop with my camera looking at me here, and I have a larger screen here as well. I had another camera, but it got taken in the house fire a couple of weeks ago. So I'm having to poor boy it a little bit. So this is going to be week one, and most of what you're going to see here is just how to navigate the class and do a few other things. I'm going to share my screen for everyone here. Oh, and the one thing I do ask, guys, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages, is if at all possible, do like Robert here and turn your camera on. If it's not possible, if you're at work, driving, you know, your bedroom's dirty, whatever, your house is dirty, I completely get it. But it's nice to talk to faces instead of just boxes with names on them. It helps me. So, because otherwise I just feel the lack of feedback is really unnerving, and I think that's part of the doing wow, everybody's coming on. Donald's all jumpy though. Where was I? Oh, but yeah, it's since COVID, and we're doing a lot of Zoom, and we've done Zoom classes before, but since this has become pretty much more prevalent, I think a lot of us miss the old-fashioned feedback from having a classroom and being able to talk back and forth and just have a whole conversation. So now, can everyone see my screen over here? Yep. Okay. Awesome. So we're going to go into business math. Now on this home page is a whole lot of information. This gives you the instructions for signing up for WebAssign, and what happens is it's all Cengage. A lot of the stuff you're going to see is going to be done in Cengage MindTap. The okay, that is weird. I keep seeing myself in Donald's screen. That's.
I was just gonna turn it off right now.
Oh, you're fine, Donald. I was just watching it flicker, and I saw little images of myself. So when it comes to math, Cengage uses the WebAssign platform, which is just a little bit different. And what you need is you need this course key right here. And this is a PDF, and this is the video. But it's not really difficult. You just have to kind of follow the instructions. I click on it, then I click on the PDF. Everyone should have a PDF reader, hopefully. Slowpoke. All right, so you're going to go to webassign.com, which may not work for me right now because I am signed in, I bet. Okay, there it is. Where it says enter class key right here, you hit that. Where's my class key? There it is. How many people are good with shortcuts on the keyboard? Anybody good with that? Okay. All right, so if you're not, right click, hit copy. Otherwise, you can do a Control C, right? Now, paste it into here, get to enroll. Continue. Oh, good gosh, it's taking forever. Okay. And it took me to my faculty page, so this is not what you guys will see. What you should see once you get in here is it should look something like this. This is going to give you all your work, when it's due, And I'm kind of skipping around a little bit away from where I normally do it, but I think this may work. So when you click on one of the assignments, first off, you'll see your due date again. This is due Wednesday. And I think I put in my email that I have no problems with giving you guys extensions. All right. So if you're not going to get it done by the due date, just come in here and hit the button and request an extension. It will go to my page. Come on now. And it'll send it to me, let me know who. A lot of times I do ask for a reason, not because that stops it from happening, just because I use that to figure out if there's an ongoing issue as the classes go through. And then if I need to do something different with the assignment due dates. So you're really just helping people that come after you. So you're going to go in here. I've already done this one. And you'll find your problem. This one has, as you see, 14 problems. Okay, so the first problem is read and write the following whole number in numerical and word form. Well, 986, comma, 475. I don't know where everybody's at. We don't do any kind of assessment for math. I'm working with the powers that be to try to put something together, so we'll know where everyone's at when they come into math class. So, and we start really basic here. But as you can see, you start at the end here. Also remember, there's an understood decimal point at the end. Okay, on whole numbers, you never write them, but it's understood. So when you go to the left, this decimal point that we don't see, 3 numbers, comma, next 3 numbers, comma, next 3 numbers, comma. All right. Then the good thing is you can submit this answer. And when you do that, it will tell you if you got it right or wrong. Okay. So you'll get multiple shots at it. We already got that one right. Let's look at another one. Round this number to the 100,000s place. Okay. So 1, 10, 100, thousands, 10,000, 100,000. So we want to round it to this 9 right here. And can everyone see my screen, or do I need to enlarge it at all? It's good. Lorraine. Okay.
I can't see it
So we're
very
go-
well. I'm on my phone.
Oh, okay. I will enlarge it a little bit, but I don't know how much good I can do for you on your phone.
I've just got my screen split so I can like see what you're doing and then I'm doing it along with you.
Okay, that is perfectly fine.
I mean, I'm ahead of the game because I've done Canvas for a hot minute now, but this math really confused me. So I'm glad you're showing it.
So we're going to go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000. So your 9 is the 100,000s place. Now this one's a little tricky. So when you're rounding to whatever place it is, you find your place, you go to the next number on the right. If that number is 0 and 4, you leave this number alone. If this number is 5 or greater, then you add 1 to this one. Well, the problem with adding 1 to that one is that throws you into 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means you have to bring 1 more over to here, and that's where it gets a little tricky. So what we'll have here is 6, comma, 0, 0, 0, comma, 0, 0, 0. And let's see how we did. And we got it. Did we get it correct? Yep, we got it correct. This one here, so according to certain newspaper, in a recent recession, outstanding consumer credit in a certain country fell to consumer credit. Okay. Once again, we're going to start at the right and we're going to count to the left. We're going to go ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Stop it. Thousands, 10,000, 100,000s, millions, 10 millions, 100 millions, billions, 10 billions, 100 billion, so 5 trillion. So we have 5.47 trillion. And that's what if two. So $5,470,000,000,000. And round the numbers to the nearest 100 billion. So 100, 100,000, 100 million, 100 billion. So we're going to round to right here. We look to the right. That number is a 7, which is 5 or greater, which means we add 1 to the 4. So this becomes 5, comma 5, 0, 0, comma. I'm gonna make sure I got all my zeros here. 0, 0, 0, comma 0, 0, 0, comma 0, 0, 0. Now, go ahead and see the answer. Hopefully we got it right, or I look like a big dummy. But I promise you I will look like a big dummy many times during these class. Does anyone, and I get off on tangents, so you have to excuse me. Anyone know what causes the reception? Any Milton Friedman fans here? Too much money chasing too few goods. All right. So too much money in circulation as compared to too few goods. Recession is caused usually by government spending. That's what's happening to us now. The government put so much money out into the economy that prices had to go up to make that happen. And so that's why we have our $8 eggs. That's what I got my wife for Valentine's Day was eggs. You ever see he went to Kroger? Actually, I got her this really cool Harry Potter Build-A-Bear. Any Harry Potter fans here? Nice, Robert, my new favorite person. Let me do my show off here.
Oh, so I guess I missed my bonus points on that one. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you did. You're a Harry wizard. I mean, Wizard Harry. So now on this next one, if you have an issue, all right, you can't figure a problem out, you do it a couple of times and it's just not working out, your brain's not working, whatever it is, go here to ask your teacher. Here, you'll say, I did so-and-so, and it didn't work. Or I get this a lot. So when you do that, hit send. I will get that message. I try to check these twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day. It sends me a message in WebAssign, so when I go in, I can just look and start answering questions. When I ask them, you'll get the answer. I try to check them in the morning, sometime after lunch, and then sometimes in the evening if I'm feeling it.
What did you write in there?
Oh, what did I write where?
In the
In the
message box.
Right here? Oh,
Yeah.
I wrote help.
Oh,
I get that a
okay.
lot. But you can write anything in there. I mean, to be honest, the more details you give me about the issue, like, try this and it didn't work, okay? And I'll try to give you the best explanation possible. I do grade a little bit harder than Bob, but I also overhelp when you ask for it. So it's just kind of the thing of putting up with different instructors. The other thing is using a calculator or a spreadsheet is not cheating. Calculators are awesome. Okay. When I was going through math back in the 80s, when I was in high school, my poor math teacher, Mr. Osment, he used to jump up and down and say, make sure you know how to do this by hand because you will not always have a calculator with you. Well, of course, I didn't realize that, we were going to have a mini computer with us at all times. In fact, one of the other little tidbits is this cell phone, my little Note 10 here, has more computing power than the entire, in this little box, has more computing power than the entirety of NASA had in 1909 when we went to the moon. So kind of fun. All right. Once you finish all this, you submit the assignment and you're fine. I believe you have, I need to look at the settings again because I don't remember how I put it, but I believe you have 3 to 5 shots at an assignment. So not only can you check your answers, you can ask questions and you can try to do the assignment over again. So it's really, really, really helpful. Now, let me get back to my normal screen.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry, I'm trying to keep down. I've noticed, so like I've already got past like down to like the quiz, chapter 1 quiz and everything. And I've noticed that
Right.
it does give you like a couple of chances, like maybe 3 chances to get it right or wrong. And then it just locks you out of it. So
That,
you
yeah,
hope you
you
get it
get 3,
right before it locks you out.
you get 3 shots at each question, and I
Okay.
think either 3 or 5 shots at each assignment.
Yeah, something
So
like that. So like
yeah,
on my first one, like chapter 1 homework, the very first one, whole numbers, what you're doing right now, like I made 100 on it. But then I get
Okay.
to like chapter 1 quiz, and there was a couple I couldn't figure out. And so I only made a 90.5% on that
oh
because I
good
got
gosh,
13 out of 15. But like
you might
I've noticed that I've kind of, and then like the chapter 2 homework on fractions, I got a 91 because I timed out or I tried to answer it too many times. I mean, so when you said if we like go into it and then we get it wrong and then we're like, there's another one where it says practice, or what does it say? I can't remember. Let me
Okay.
click into it real quick.
Okay.
Where it says, let's see here. Practice another. If we hit practice another and we get that one right, does it make it right or is it just for the fun of it?
Just for the fun of it.
Okay, so it doesn't help us get a more
Right.
better grade.
Right.
Okay, just want to make sure. Yeah.
Now, when you go to, there's another thing here that you need to understand is we've had a real problem getting WebAssign and Canvas to, there we go. Sorry about the lighting, guys. This is just temporary living conditions for a while. We've had a difficult time getting Canvas and WebAssign to connect. For some reason, I think if you've done MindTap before, you get really easy access. So the best way to get into your WebAssign is go to webassign.net and then log in from there, because you're not going to get a choice to hit a button in Canvas and go directly to it. I'm working
I
on
have a
fixing it.
question.
Yes.
Okay, I attempted to do the first problem of the first assignment. And then I hadn't had a chance to go back in there and do it because had to do other things and get ready for work. And then I got an email saying your assignment has been graded.
Okay. Did you submit it?
If I did, I didn't realize I did it because I'm not used to that format, whatever we were
Okay.
doing.
I'm gonna pull over to this other screen so nobody can see it, and let me look at your assignment here.
Okay.
Minimize the chat. And that, yes,
Can we work ahead as far as we want to?
absolutely. Please and thank you.
Okay. That's what I want to make sure. I didn't know if I needed to wait every week till you went over it or, you know.
No, if you can, you're fine. And it was
Okay.
Deidre who's having issues, right?
Yes.
Ashlock. Sorry, I could not remember. Okay, Ashlock, Deidre. Okay, you should be able to go back in and just do it again. If it gives you a hassle, in fact, let me see what I can do right now. If it hassles you, Okay, allowed 5 submissions for each homework assignment. I just checked the settings. So you're allowed five of them. So just because you messed up on one, Deidre, or something happened, you've got 4 more. If that gives you a problem, just email me or something and let me know, and I'll see if I can go in there and square it away for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, no problem. Guys, we're here to help you get through this. We're not here to, bust chops and try to fail anybody. I've had professors like that, and it's no fun, and it's usually counterproductive. So, and that's not what we want. We want to get you guys this and get you through it and to help you as much as possible. So also, am I going to have time? All right. Always a couple of things I like to do. The other thing down here is my online class every Monday at 8, Bob's every Monday at 6. Okay. Each one of these Zoom links will take you to our individual Zoom Zoom links. Yes.
I don't know why it
Meetings.
took me forever to find that while ago.
Also, mine and his instructor information is here. So you see my big old head there. There's my office phone. That is the best one to call. The best way to get a hold of me is, of course, by email. The second best would be texting me at this number. Okay. If you want to do a face-to-face or a Zoom meeting, I will make myself available as best as possible. I am in the office Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays till about 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Jesus Christ. 3:30 in the afternoon. But if I need to play with those times, it's not a problem. And I don't care if you're in Bob's section or mine, it doesn't matter to either one of us. We trade off. Bob and I, we worked together for years and years. We used to share an office. We're fine with all that. Also, there's my Facebook page just for the class. Now, here is a really good article, and I usually stay away from these online articles because a lot of them are garbage, just to be honest. But this one just gives you some really good tips on how to be successful in these classes. And this is stuff everybody already knows, but when you can put it into perspective, actually read it and think, oh, well, I forgot about that or whatever. Or some of his stuff is, I never even thought about it. So read this. There's no grade for reading it. You don't have to read it, but do your best. And the other thing here is, I'm a Jordan Peterson fan. I know he's a little bit of a divisive figure politically, but there's a short 5-minute video here, and here's why it's so bloody hard to sit down and get work done. It gives you some insight into how your mind works and why it doesn't give you any answers, because the answers are going to be, individual, but it kind of gives you an idea of why you have a hard time sitting down, studying, getting your homework done, things of nature. If you don't mind, I'm going to play that, and then we'll get right back to it. And you guys can still see my big screen here, right? Okay, I'm still sharing. Excellent.
When you have these woke revolutions, it requires all of us at some point to say, no,
we don't care about ads.
Not going to do this.
There we go.
Your attention, for example, is mediated by unconscious forces. And you know that perfectly well. And this is another Freudian observation. If you're sitting down to study, for example, your conscious intent is to study, but you know perfectly well that all sorts of distraction fantasies are going to enter the theater of your imagination non-stop and annoyingly, and there isn't really a lot you can do about that except maybe wait it out. So you'll be sitting there reading, and your attention will flicker away. You'll think about, I don't know, maybe you want to watch Jane the Virgin on Netflix or something like that, or maybe it's time to have a peanut butter sandwich, or you should get the dust bunnies from out from underneath the bed, or it's time to go outside and have a cigarette, or maybe it's time for a cup of coffee, or it's like all these subsystems in you that would like something aren't very happy just to sit there while you read this thing that you're actually bored by, and so they pop up and try to take control of your perceptions and your actions non-stop. Maybe you think, well, this is a stupid course anyways, why do I have to read this damn paper, and what am I doing in university, and what's the point of life? It's like you can really get going if you're trying to avoid doing your homework, and then you might think, well, what is it in you that's trying to avoid? Because after all, you took the damn course and you told yourself to sit down. Why don't you listen? Well, because you're a mess. That's basically why. You haven't got control over yourself at all. And no more than I have control over this laptop. Okay, so there's the memory function of the unconscious, and there's the dissolutive function. That's an interesting one. The unconscious contains habits, once voluntary, now automatized, and dissociated elements of the personality, which may lead a parasitic existence. That's an interesting one. I would relate that more to procedural memory. You know, so what you've done is practice certain habits, whatever they might be, let's call them bad habits, and you like those things to get under control, but you can't. So maybe when you're speaking, for example, you use like and you know, and you say a lot, and you've practiced that, so you're really good at it. And
I gave 3 speeches yesterday, and every time I said like, you know, or I thought about this, and I made myself cringe. So is a bad one too. So
you'd like to stop it, but you don't get to, because you've built that little machine right into your being, right? It's neurologically wired, and it's not under conscious control, and anything you practice becomes that. It becomes part of you, and that's another element of the unconscious, a different part. And then there's a creative part, which is that, well, you know, you're sitting around and maybe you're trying to write something, or maybe you want to produce a piece of art or a piece of music, or maybe you're just laying in bed dreaming, and you have all these weird ideas, and especially in dreams, it's like, where do those things come from? And even more strange, one of the things that's really weird about dreams, and almost impossibly weird, is that you're an observer in the dream. It's like a dream is something that happens to you. Well, you're dreaming it, theoretically, so how is it that you can be an observer? It's almost like you're watching a video game or a movie, but you're producing it, at least in principle, although the psychoanalysts would say, well, no, not exactly. Your ego isn't producing it. Your unconscious is producing it. It's a different thing. It's a different thing. And of course, Jung would say, well, it's deeper than that. The collective unconscious might be producing it. It's in some sense, it isn't you exactly, or it isn't the you that you think of when you think of you. And that's the ego from the Freudian perspective, the you that you identify with. That's the ego. And outside of that is the unconscious. The id, that's more the place of impulses, and you could think about those as the biological subsystems that can derail your thinking, right? And that govern things like hunger and sex and aggression, and your basic instincts is another way of putting it. And it's a reasonable way of thinking about it, because these are subsystems that you share with animals. You share them certainly with mammals, you share most of them with reptiles, you share a lot of them with amphibians, and even going all the way down to crustaceans, there's commonality, for example, in the dominance hierarchy circuits. And so these are very, very old things, and the idea that you're in control of them is, well, you're not exactly in control of them. And I would say the less integrated you are, the less you're in control of them, and the more they're in control of you. And that can get really out of hand, you know. You can be like with people who have obsessive compulsive disorder, for example, which seems to be, I would say, the dissolutive elements in some sense of the unconscious, the way that it's portrayed here. Poor people with obsessive compulsive disorder, they can spend half their time doing things that they can't really control, and they have very strong impulses to do them, and it's very hard on them to block them. You know, they'll almost panic if those things are blocked. And then you have people with Tourette's syndrome, you know, that they'll be doing all sorts of weird dances and spouting off obscenities and imitating people without being able to control it, and sometimes a little bit of antipsychotic medication can dampen that down, but it's as if there are these autonomous semi-spirits inside of them that grip control over their behavior and make them do things. And you know, you find that to some degree in your own life, because maybe you've become very attracted to someone, even maybe you don't want to be attracted to the person, and then you find yourself, you know, texting them when you know perfectly well that you should be going to bed, and you know, you're in a grip of something, and you can't control it, and that's all part of the unconscious and all.
So anyway, there's that. Now, and I always find the fix for these is usually very personal. You'll see that in that article, they say something like, find a quiet spot to study, eliminate distractions. Me personally, if it's too quiet, all those little autonomous semi-spirits take over in my head. Okay. So I always have something, music or a podcast or something playing in the background that's not going to distract me, but it helps me concentrate. I used to work with a woman, it had to be completely quiet for her to work. I mean, she couldn't listen to music, she couldn't do anything if it wasn't completely quiet. So she just wanted to go in and close her office and become super productive. Now, also in here are all your assignments and the due dates. But like I said, you can't jump to your MindTap at the Cengage WebAssign assignments. You can't jump to them from here. You need to go to webassign.net. Now, the ones you can jump to are your discussions. The first discussion is not due till week 2. You can go ahead and do it. Let's just look at one real quick. How are we doing on time? I think we'll be all right. Okay, there are only 2 things certain in life, death and taxes. Old Benjamin Franklin. I'll enlarge it a hair, maybe. Okay. As responsible citizens, not only is it our duty to pay taxes, it is important to understand as much as possible how our tax system works and how taxes are calculated. Also, employers are required to pay certain taxes on behalf of their employees, so it's important to understand the rules that apply to. That's a weird sentence. I might need to change that. It gives us a video, and then the article says how employers calculate payroll taxes. You're going to get into this that week as well. We're going to calculate payroll taxes using a couple of different methods. And then you're just going to answer these questions in a post. And Lorraine says she's been doing Canvas for a long minute. So everybody does discussion questions, don't they?
Yeah, but now I'm trying to find out where you're at right now, because I had a question on it.
Yes.
I know. So are you under discussions? Is that where you're at?
Okay. Couple of ways to get to it. Under assignments, there is a discussions header, or
Yes.
you can go straight to discussions. Either
Yes,
way.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now.
Okay. Oh, doggone it.
Oh,
I
there it
just finished a class and I have not deleted the old discussions out. So I will do that probably not until in the morning. So this is a bunch of discussions
I
already
don't
done.
see any on my end.
You don't? Let's look here.
All I see is
click-
just reply.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Well,
hold on.
you won't see them until you reply.
Oh, okay.
And so here's what other people have done. Now, also part of that, now that part is worth 20 points total. And kind of the way I grade, I'm a little bit different than Bob, which is I'll look at your word count, because your word count should be 300 words
Okay.
for the original post. So I look at, and your word count is worth 5 points, and I deduct slightly from there. So you had, 150 words, and you get 2.5 points. The next one would be grammar, spelling, punctuation, tone, all that. I base a score on that. That's 5 points. The other 10 points is, did you address the subject matter correctly and answer the questions? And so that's worth 20 points total. And I will grade these, your original post on Thursdays. So you'll see, maybe you'll get like a 19. And don't worry, because when you do your peer post, I will go back and add that score in on the next Monday, because the original discussion, I guess I should tell you, is on Wednesday. The peer posts are due on Sunday. And then so Thursday and Monday, I will go start grading.
Now- oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so no, that's right. Okay, so like the taxes one that you're on, or
Mhm.
so that one's not due till February 26th, is that right?
Well, the original post going to be, let me pull up a calculator, because here's the problem with the due dates is I can only give it one due date. So the entire thing is due on the 26th, but your original post we do on the Wednesday prior, which is the 22nd.
Okay, so
And the
the
reason-
first one will be due this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or next Wednesday, a week from Wednesday.
Oh, so this week doesn't count?
Yeah, this week has no discussions.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. That's gonna be confusing, but okay.
Yeah, well, I don't like overloading people the first week if I can help it.
Right.
Now, and the reason we make the original discussion on Wednesday is so everyone can have a chance to do their 2 peer replies. That's 5 points apiece before Sunday. You have to have something to reply to. Now, and then I grade those, boom, I throw you a score. Bob's scores are usually even numbers. You'll see my scores will be like a 28.7. So we do them slightly differently. I do mine with a spreadsheet and do all sorts of fractions and everything. And Bob doesn't get down like that. But the discussions are 25% of your grade. So
I have a question.
yes, Deidre.
How many words are we supposed to have for the peer post?
100 per peer post. And you have to
Okay.
have 2.
Okay, thank you.
And it should say in here, I thought I had it in here and maybe I don't, but I will add that in. Now, and then also on the responses, good point, or I agree, or hey, you're so great and pretty, doesn't count. We need to move the conversation forward. That's what the peer replies are for. And it's, kind of our attempt to make up for not being in class and being able to, interact on a regular basis. So this is kind of the interaction we're having. Like I said, let's just go to assignments here. That'll help us out. Your classroom attendance and participation, like the points you got tonight for showing up, is worth 10% of your total grade. 25% of your total grade goes to your discussions, and 60% of your grade goes to your web assignments. So if you did everything perfectly in WebAssign and got 100 on every single one, the best you could do is a D in this class if you didn't do anything else.
No, don't tell us that. I'm just kidding. On another note, question on the grading part, as you're talking about right now. So, like in any other class, you could just go pop over to grades and you could see your grades for everything. So since we have 2 different ones, considering like we have the web, what is it called? Web something?
Well, WebAssign.
Yes. And then we have this one. How do we know what our full grade is going to be? Will we ever be able to know that during the whole class? Or?
Okay. Let me show you here. You will know what your grade is up to that point, if that makes sense. It doesn't extend it all the way out. Now you can figure that on your own. And if we get a chance, I will try to show that to you. But when you look here, I went to assignments with you. Okay, I'm in the student view now. So this is what yours looks like.
Yes.
You see there's less here. Okay. It's exactly what yours is like. So if you go under here, you will see your grades. But up until the, how am I gonna put it? Up until due date, the future grades aren't going to matter. It's just up until, whatever due date. So, and part of this problem with WebAssign and Canvas is I have to go in and manually move the grades over. So if I get a little behind, I try to get them first thing in the morning as close to as possible. Sometimes it may be mid-morning before I actually get those moved over. So
I
this
think,
will
though,
show up. Go ahead.
if you want to, where it says like little negative sign and then /14, like per se on that first one, the chapter 1 assignment.
Right.
I know that, like, if you go into your web, I don't know why I keep forgetting the name of that, where we go into it and do the other
WebAssign.
ones. Yeah, if you click on like that little negative sign, it'll be like click to test a different score. Well, you can, like, if you can go back over to your website and see what you made on that, go back over and you can fill that in and actually see what your grade is that way too, without you having to.
I clicked to test different score. I had no idea that even did that.
Yeah. So,
But
like, for instance, if I go back over to my WebAssign and I made let me see here. Let me go to my assignments. Well, I made 100 on that first one. So let me see if it'll
14 out of 14.
14 out of 14. So if I go back over to grades and where it says test a different score and I can type in 14 and press enter, then I can go to the bottom of the page and it'll tell me what my grade is. And you can do that for each of them in case you don't have time to catch up if you just want to know what your grade is, but that's what that's for. So,
and
we could
that's good because
put it in.
like I said, I hardly ever go into the student view. So I would have made some really weird spreadsheet to figure it out. And here's how this affects your grade. You make 100 on that one, you make 100 on that one, and it says I like it. And let's say you just skip this one and don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, suddenly you went from 100 to a 66.
Oh yeah.
Real quick with just 1 0. As my old high school buddy James Scott used to say, well, at least a zero is better than nothing. We tried to explain it to him, he never got it.
No.
And then he became a cop. I don't know if we have any cops in here, but but no, he good guy, he got it. He was just, being funny. Now you can also see who's in your class. And the reason Bob and I split this up is because 30 people on one person is torture. If you want to torture an instructor, give them 30 students in a math class. And you can see who has not joined the class as well. And I think you can actually you can actually look at stuff. Report an inappropriate picture.
Do we have to write anything if we don't not able to attend class?
Yes. Okay, that's where we're going next. Okay, so back under assignments. What's going to happen is, doggone it. Let's go to show by type. All right. So you'll see classroom attendance and participation week 1. Everybody here is good. You already got your participation points. You don't have to do anything. If you don't show up to a class, you click on that week, you'll find a video and do a 300-word summary, upload it to me, and then you will get your points. Also, I try to be funny. I used to love the Rocky and Bullwinkle show when I was a kid. So I name it week 1 class video, and then I do an and then I put some weird movie quote in it to try to make it funny. So I love you 3000 from, the Avengers. In which one was it? Don't remember which one it was now. Endgame. So go ahead and upload that to me and you will be just fine. Okay, is there anything I forgot to cover, Robert, since you've already seen this? I've been kind of a scattered mess tonight.
No, I don't think so. In fact, you covered a few more things that he didn't cover.
Okay.
That was good.
And one of the things here is, and Bob says it, and I say it, read the book. It won't always make sense at first, but it will as you go through. Ask us questions. We're here to help. That's what we get paid for. And try not to get behind. If you read my email, trying to get caught up will just be hell on you guys. If you get too far behind, you know, it's like not paying the electric bill 1 month and then trying to chip over the next 6 months. It just kills you. There I go with again. I'm really self-conscious about that after watching that video so many times. Any questions or concerns? Margaret Ann, Donald, Shatona. Shatona's had me in
No,
class
I'm good.
before.
I figured it all out.
Okay.
Have any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
I said no, I don't have anything.
Oh, you said no. I thought you said you
Yeah.
should have a question.
No,
Okay.
I don't. You answered my question before, right when I was about to ask you.
Okay. No worries. All right. Well, if you do have any questions, email me. And what I'm going to do is I am going to stop the share and I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording or stop the recording. And that will mean that's the official end of class.